January is a very exciting time for West Ham, as we all know. David Moyes has kind of set his wish list at the moment as a right back, a centre back, and a left winger. I know the attacking options are the most exciting, and defensively, no one really minds who comes through the door. It's not very exciting to have a great centre back, is it? Really, they don't do much. They don't score the goals. They do the dirty work. But the centre back that we are supposedly interested in and inquiring about is Eric Dier. Listen, I know this won't excite a lot of West Ham fans, and I know a lot of people are going to be pretty pissed off, to be fair, about that's who we're inquiring for. I mean, this season we've inquired about Harry Maguire and Eric Dier. It's not a partnership that I think many people would want to see at West Ham. But need I remind you of a little lad by the name of Craig Dawson, who was the most out of favour player we could have picked. He'd just been relegated. He's been in the Premier League for years and not really shown much quality at all. He came in at West Ham. I've never seen that many people a transfer as much as they were against Craig Dawson. And he came in and he absolutely tore up for it. He did brilliantly. He was one of them no-nonsense centre-backs that was experienced. I mean, experience you don't always recognise in centre-backs because you see them play for the teams that don't exactly play very well. But Dawson, I mean, he was absolutely brilliant. He turned into one of the cult heroes, and we were begging him to stay. I think fans especially were begging him to stay this time last year. But unfortunately, yeah, he did leave. He went over to Wolves. He's been doing very well at Wolves, in my opinion, as well. So, listen, and to be fair, I think Harry Maguire's not done awful this season. I think he's not perfect, but I think when he's come in, he's been one of Man United's best defenders, which, again, isn't much of a compliment because Man United's defence isn't great. But I think at times this season, he's looked really, really good. Listen, I think it's a smart bit of business. If we bring Eric Dier here for a loan move, I think when he's played at his best, he's looked really, really good. It's kind of weird to think of a Tottenham player playing for West Ham now. I'm not sure if we can really let him buy into the culture and, how much effort he'd want to put in. I mean, he's been at Tottenham for a very long time. He's 29 years of age now. He's very out of favour at Tottenham, but I don't know. Have we ever really done business with Tottenham before? I think, you've got Jermaine Defoe, who's played for us and for Tottenham. You've got Sheringham, who played for Tottenham and played for us. I can't remember. Scott Parker as well. He played for Tottenham and for us. There's not a lot of players. Well, it's more them going that way as opposed to us receiving Tottenham players. It's not something that happens very often, and for good reason as well, because we bloody hate Tottenham. But I think that Eric Dier, on the face of it, he's not an exciting signing. No one is going to react to this video. No one is desperate to click on this video and find out about us signing Eric Dier, unless you're doing so because you're sitting there thinking, is this true? Are we actually going to go for Eric Dier? But let's be honest here, we just need someone who, when we need them to do a job, is going to come in and do the business. You've got Naya Faged and Zuma, both fairly injury prone at the moment. You've got Mavropanos, who has looked a little bit, let's say he's been faulty at times. He's not someone that I think we can necessarily rely upon. We can rely upon him, but he's not the finished product. Ogbonna has been very poor at the start of the season, but now that we're getting on with him a little bit more, he's looking back to his best, and Thilo Kehrer looks as if he's going to go. So you imagine a game where you've got Zuma or Faged, one of the two gets injured. You've got the choice of Eric Dier, Ogbonna, and Mavropanos. To be honest, I would be inclined to go Eric Dier. I honestly would. I think that he's a much better centre-back than people give him credit for. I'd much rather have him than someone like Michael Keane, who Moyes has been recycling his interest in him for a number of years now. The only other option I've heard is Max Kilman, but we don't know enough about that at the moment to really report it. And again, I don't think it would happen. He's doing too well at Wolves. He's too young a player. He would cost money. Similar to the Arsenal situation, Arsenal, I think, would be willing to loan out a Nelson or a Smith Rowe to keep him happy. Postecoglou probably would be quite happy to loan out Eric Dier to West Ham if he got promised a number of minutes. We've inquired about him. That's all we know so far. He's a player that Moyes is interested in, and the inquiry has been reported by Indie Killer. Well, actually, no, was it Indie Killer? Oh, no, it's been reported by football transfers and stuff like that. The Arsenal stuff was on my indicator. So look, I mean, it could happen. It could. And I think that if I was going to rate this transfer as I do all the transfers in likelihood of happening, I'd probably put it at a 7 out of 10. I think it works for both parties. We need a centre-back who's going to come in and be able to do what he needs to do when the job is called upon. We've got Europe. I think he'd play well in Europe. He's not going to be cup-tied either because Spurs are not in Europe at the moment. So he's not going to be cup-tied in any of our competitions like Europa League, which is good for us. He's experienced. He can play well. And look, you know, we've been through a long spell of bringing in players that we, you know, give credit where it's due. Moyes does the opposite. He takes an old player and he revitalises their career, makes them look really good. And he just takes a young player and doesn't necessarily be able to do that. We've had, you know, Craig Dawson come at this club and be the main centre-back. No one would have seen that coming. He took an out-of-form Jesse Lingard and turned him into one of the most in-form players in the league. Put that on Moyes if you want, whatever. He wanted the players, he got the players in, and they absolutely delivered for him. So, do you know what? I think Eric Dier would be a smart bit of business. Not an exciting bit of business, but a smart bit of business on a loan move, which I think is what would happen. He's not on crazy wages. He'd probably be happy to come to West Ham, bar probably the fact we're West Ham. So this one, I can definitely see it happening. We will give you, of course, every bit of knowledge we have on this, but so far we're just at the inquiry stage. I think Moyes is doing his classic tactic of he's got his little list of players that he wants. He's got a little whiteboard up there. He goes for his scattergun approach of inquire about this one. How much do you want for this one? Is he available? And then after he's got all of his inquiries through and he knows the situation of every single player, he will then sit down and say, okay, let's put a bid in for him, bid in for him, bid in for him. Let's see how much heat they want for him, blah, 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 blah. And then he makes an actual decision on who he wants. He doesn't do what normal managers would do and say, this is the centre-back I want, go out and get him. Oh, we didn't get him? Okay, this is the next centre-back I want, let's go get him. What he does is he says, these are 5 centre-backs I want, put in an offer for every single one, inquire about every single one, then present to me the ones that say yes, how much are they going to be, and then I'll make a decision. So that's what Moyes does. He inquires about a load of players. So I would not be surprised if Eric Dier is just a list of one of the names. But he is someone we're interested in, and he is a deal that I think has potential in this transfer market.